So you just watched all 8 episodes of Shadow and Bone on Netflix based off of the popular book, the Grisha Trilogy, written by Leigh Bardugo. Maybe you're confused by what happens at the end of the series, or you just want to know what had happened. Well, you came to the right spot. Welcome to my channel. My name is Justin. I love to watch movies. If you guys love to watch movies too, and you absolutely love to watch Shadow and Bone like I did, you guys are in the right spot. Make sure to check out my review for Shadow and Bone. I uploaded that earlier this week. This is a book series that is written by Leigh Bardugo. It is a Shadow and Bone Grisha a trilogy, and there is some other books as well called The Six of Crows. And to my understanding, the Six of Crows duology, which takes place 2 years after the end of the original Shadow and Bone trilogy, is written into this adaptation and is create a backstory for these characters that we have not seen yet, and it serves as a prequel to The Six of Crows. So there's some adjustments to Alina's backstory. Some of the other characters involved, like Kaz and Jesper. But this last episode of Season 1 of Shadow and Bone, called No Mourners, finally sees all of the heroes on General Kerrigan's boat. The Crows still want to kidnap Alina. Maul is on the boat. He's a stowaway. And now Alina is infused with the antlers from the stag, and she's chained to the deck. We get to see her full potential of her powers. She is a sun summoner, and General Kerrigan shows exactly what his true intentions is to extend the fold to engulf surrounding areas. He wants to take revenge on surrounding areas for their treachery. Other ambassadors are on board, and he tells them his true plan. And his true plan is to have all of the other countries submit to him out of fear. He thinks he has complete control of the fold, which will be able for him to control the surrounding areas. Maul tries to attack General Kerrigan on board, and Jesper, Kaz, and the rest of the Six Crows escape and try to stop General Kerrigan, and Inez shoots General Kerrigan and leaves him to die inside the fold, while 6 heroes, Alina, Maul, Kaz, Inez, and Jesper, are now joined by Squaller Zoya, who has a change of heart, and they escape out the other side. General Kerrigan believes that since he was the one that killed the stag, he is able to harness its antlers as an amplifier. There's a really good scene in here during the showdown on the boat. Alina gets a vision from the stag, and she tells Kerrigan that amplifiers need to be given and not claimed. Since the stag chose her, she is the one that is able to harness its powers. We are to believe that General Kerrigan is dead. They leave the fold. Maul, Alina, and the Crows make their own way off of the boat to Ketterdam before everybody kind of goes their own separate ways. The Crows still have to deal with several other people who want their heads for failing to give them the Sun Summoner. Alina and Maul together at last is what they want. They venture out into the sea. And Maul tells Alina that there is still people that will hunt her knowing of her powers. She has to take control of her powers, eventually come back and get rid of the fold. Alina believes that General Kerrigan is dead. While this is all happening, we have Matthias and Nina, two characters that I've grown to love towards the end of the series. They have this forbidden love that is very sweet, and I love seeing them together. It's a little bit complicated, though. She tries to save his life by turning him over to a Kirsch merchant for being a slaver, and he believes that she was trying to manipulate him by using her magic. The Kirsch will eventually take him to Ketterdam, where he will be sent to Hellgate Prison. And Nina eventually ends on the same boat as the Crows, who happen to be on the lookout for a Heartrender. So what happens exactly to the fold in the end of this episode? This large amount of darkness ends up getting bigger. This final shot of this episode sees General Kerrigan walking out of the fold with monsters behind him. The Darkling lives. Without reading the Shadowbone book and the Grisha trilogy, I'm really curious to see how they continue to migrate the Six of Crows duology along with the Grisha trilogy, knowing that the characters from the Six of Crows took place 2 years after the events of the last book of Shadow and Bone. So seeing them migrate the stories in there, I think that they did it pretty well. I'm curious to see if they continue to migrate that or start to focus a little more on the second book or third book of the Shadow of Bone book series, the trilogy. I think they integrated the characters fairly well into the story, and I would like to see that continue into another season, eventually seeing Alina return to try to destroy the Fold, gain control of her powers, and watching what happens with the Darkling, General Kerrigan, played by Ben Barnes, seeing what he does next with his shadow monsters with him. The book ending really focuses on Alina, Maul, and the Darkling. At the end of the first book, Maul is thrown off the boat. She jumps down and tries to save him, and they leave. Both of them escape to West Ravka. And the book ends with Maul and Alina on a boat heading out to sea. So the focus for the book is a little bit different, but we did get an extension of this scene and with the other characters involved in the story when they originally were not involved in the story in the first place. So, I really love Shadow and Bone. I really love the ending as well. Left it on the cliffhanger leading into a second season. I can't wait to see what they continue with some of these characters. I really fell in love with some of the characters from Six of Crows, from that duology, like Kaz and Jesper and Inej. Can't wait to see what they do in the next season, and eventually if they cross paths with Alina and Maul once again. And seeing how Alina can control her abilities is something that I am excited for. So leave your thoughts down below on the Shadow and Bone ending. Do you think it worked with knowing that they combined both books into one? Did you like the ending compared to the book ending? And what are your thoughts on a second season? And where do you think they'll go with the story? Let me know all of that in the comment section down below. And stick around for a ranking video of the Shadow and Bone characters. Since I've loved them so much, I really would like to talk about them individually in a video. So stay tuned for that this weekend. My name is Justin Watches Movies, and you guys stay classy, YouTube.